On a different context, allow me to bring you this unfamiliar segment, the dark world of Tanzania. Last evening, one of you guys, my beloved followers, shared a very strange story based on real events and asked me to share it with you too, for awareness purposes. It unveils a haunting encounter that defies human understanding. I invite you to watch this narrative to its conclusion as it reveals a profound brush with forces beyond our world. On July 22nd, 2025, Bakari, a diligent and responsible young man, managed the financial contributions of a welfare group in his community, which had recently welcomed a new member, a middle-aged woman referred to here as Madam Jamila, a pseudonym to protect her identity. When it came time for Jamila to pay her dues, she chose to pay in cash rather than through mobile money, as was customary. She requested that Bakari accompany her to her home, located on the remote outskirts of Dar es Salaam, to collect the payment. Eager to deposit the funds alongside other contributions he had gathered, Bakari agreed without hesitation. But this is where things started getting weird. Bakari found himself sitting on a bed in a small room, with Jamila in a corner looking through her bag. Yet something was deeply wrong. Bakari couldn't see her face however much he tried. It was obscured, veiled by a dark, cloudy haze that blurred her features into an indistinct shadow. But even more strange is that he doesn't remember how he got to Jamila's house. It was like he just appeared there, as if time and space had folded, transporting him instantaneously to her residence. Bakari stated that the room itself pulsed with an indescribable chaos. A swirling tempest of intangible elements, sand, dust, discordant noises, debris, and a heavy, polluted air that seemed to churn around him. Though this chaos was invisible to the eye, its weight pressed heavily on Bakari's senses, creating a dense, oppressive atmosphere that was not painful, but profoundly disorienting. Bakari felt stuck, like something was holding him there. As he sat, paralyzed by an inexplicable force, Jamila approached without a word and handed him 100 United States dollars, an unexpected and peculiar choice, as the group's transactions were typically conducted in Tanzanian shillings, and her face, now entirely shrouded, seemed to have vanished into the murky haze. Despite having received the payment, Bakari remained rooted to the bed, his mind screaming to leave, but his body refusing to obey. A dark, magnetic force seemed to anchor him, whispering that he belonged in this chaotic space. The longer he lingered, the more the unnatural turmoil felt strangely familiar, as if the room were becoming a twisted semblance of home. Bakari started feeling at home. Jamila exited the room briefly, leaving Bakari alone in the suffocating chaos. Her absence did little to break the spell. The unseen force continued to hold him captive. When she returned, she resumed her silent vigil in the corner. The atmosphere grew heavier, the invisible storm intensifying, yet Bakari remained unable to summon the will to stand and leave, despite his growing inner conviction that he was in grave danger and need to leave immediately. Suddenly, the oppressive stillness was broken. The door creaked open, and a tall, graceful, and strikingly beautiful woman stepped in and signaled for Bakari to follow her, whispering words he couldn't hear. The dark force tightened its grip, pulling him back with an almost tangible strength, urging him to remain in the room. The woman approached closer and leaned in, whispered in his ear, "There is something pulling you into this house. They don't want you to leave. We have to leave right now." Those words shattered the darkness that had a hold on him. His awareness surged, and so did the fear. Fear surged through him, mingling with a newfound clarity. He tried to stand, but his legs buckled, weak and unresponsive under the weight of the unseen force. Sensing his struggle, the woman grasped him firmly by the armpits, her strength almost otherworldly, as she guided him toward the door. As he glanced back, he saw Jamila standing. For the first time, he could clearly see her face, but it was no longer the face of the woman he had met earlier in the city. It is slowly transforming into a huge snake, or something terrifying, something unrecognizable and filled with rage. As they neared the door, a desperate thought passed through Bakari's mind. What you've heard so far is only the beginning of a much deeper and darker mystery. Watch part 2 now and prepare yourself for what happens next. Remember, this is based on a true story.